What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of the Chop Block Sports Talk. We are coming at you live from three corners, literally from three corners of the United States. I, of course, am here in Reno. Jay Blaze is up in Canada somewhere. Miami Jay is probably down in Cuba by now. What's up, guys?
No, I'm not down in Cuba yet. It's still freezing down here. It's 62 degrees.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But we're making it through, man. It's been a harsh winter.
Yeah, apparently so. Are they closed? I mean, are there going to be store closures? I mean, what's going on down there in Florida?
Yeah, they're thinking about it. The schools are out. There's no school.
Okay, well, I think
no school.
Just be safe. Be safe. Don't put yourself in danger. Jay Blaze, how's it going out there in sunny Maine?
Yeah, we just got 4 inches, so I don't know if Joel knows what that is, but Don used to know what that means.
Yeah,
Like,
I sure. Actually, we're actually going to get snow. I see what you did there. We've actually gotten a little bit of snow like a couple of weeks ago, and then a couple of days ago it snowed like crazy, but none of it stuck. But it stuck to the mountains everywhere. The scenery out here is incredible.
In my defense, I did live in DC for a long time, so I do know what snow is like.
I did not know you used to live in DC.
Yeah, man. I told you I worked in politics for a long time.
Oh, wow. Now I know you worked in politics, but I did not know you lived in DC. How about that?
I did.
Every day. All right, guys, we have a fantastic show in store for you guys tonight. We're going to talk about the college football, the first ever college football bracketed playoffs. And as of right now, it looks like Tennessee is going to be the third team. Wait a minute, the fourth team eliminated. Obviously, Notre Dame defeated Indiana last night. Clemson was taken out by Texas. And right now, Ohio State is up 25 with 28 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. It looks like it is all said and done there in the horseshoe. And of course, Penn State absolutely steamrolled SMU, who looked like it was just too big a moment for them. So we'll be talking about that. We'll also talk about the NFL playoff picture. Then of course we're going to talk about a couple of the games that took place today: the Houston Texans, the Kansas City Chiefs, and of course the late game, which was the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we get started, guys, I can't remember, and jog my memory if I'm wrong. I can't remember a day where there were this many marquee football games. Obviously, on Saturdays and Sundays, it's wall-to-wall football, but it is a Saturday, and every single game today had major implications. This wasn't, Texas Tech versus Roast Beef Tech. This wasn't Notre Dame versus, some directional school or some service academy. This wasn't, Jacksonville at Tennessee or anything like that. No, these were absolutely all critical. I don't know. It's kind of a playoff game between the Steelers and the Ravens today, so we'll talk a little bit about that. But yeah, can you guys remember a day where there were this many meaningful football games in one day?
Not before it being the last day of the season in the NFL. I think what made it feel that way, I think this is a product of the college football playoffs.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I'm absolutely loving it.
Dude,
I got to tell you, the 12-team playoff,
nailed it
so far.
Absolutely nailed it. Dude, the college football playoff is, and we'll talk more about it, but the college football playoffs have been a home run, and we're not even halfway done yet. So we'll get into that. But we're going to start things off with the Soccer Minute.
Yes.
And according to Miami J, it looks like the United States needs to cut a few players. Maybe guys need to retire. So talk to me about Yunus Musa, who is on the screen. What's going on?
Well, let me clarify. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean the U.S. needs to clarify or cut these players. What I mean is these guys need to move clubs now in January so that their development can progress so that the U.S. team can be better.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. So sorry, guys. We talk about this stuff off screen sometimes, and we lose.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
But anyway, Yunus Musa. Here's a player who's only 22 years old.
Okay.
Is playing for AC Milan. Yeah, he's a young guy. He's been playing for AC Milan for the last couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But since he played for Valencia, since the World Cup, since he was 18 years old, it really feels like he has stagnated. And his development hasn't progressed the way we want to see it. And he's honestly not being used very much in Milan. So he needs to go maybe a couple tiers down to a mid-level team in Italy, or go back to Spain, but somewhere where he's going to get regular playing time. I really like to see him in Holland.
Okay.
I think that's a great developmental league,
Okay.
and there's a lot of Americans already there. I think that would be a great landing spot for him. PSV, maybe Freiburg,
Okay. All right.
or over in January for
Okay.
him.
Very good.
Yeah.
Up next is, and I can't pronounce this dude's name.
Yes, Luca de la Torre.
Luca de la Torre. Okay. Well,
Yep.
okay. Luca de la Torre. Now all of these guys are Americans, or they're going to play for Team USA, correct?
Well, all these guys were in the World Cup for us.
Okay,
for
gotcha.
the U.S. So these
For
are
the US.
American players, and they're mainstays. And even if they're not starters, they're very important depth pieces. So I'm not talking about guys who are in the bubble. These are guys who would probably be in the A roster.
Okay.
Luca de la Torre is probably the closest to the bubble, but he was a critical midfielder for us during the World Cup. He's had some injury issues since, but the move to Celta Vigo last year looked great. They were using him. He was playing great. Something happened over the summer when they got a brand new coach, and I just guess he doesn't rate him. He doesn't like him. He's barely gotten any playing time this season. He got, I think he got his first start of the year a couple of weeks ago, and that was against some semi-pro team that they were playing in the lower levels of a cup game.
Okay.
So I think he needs a move. He's a player that's been rumored to be going back to MLS, which I don't like.
How old is he?
He's 26, almost 27.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually cool. A marquee player about to be in his physical prime, coming to play in the MLS, maybe? I don't know.
Sure, but I mean, that's the thing. I fear for him. I fear if he goes to MLS, then we'll have seen the last of him in the U.S. jersey.
Oh,
because I don't think right now he's right in that bubble to be on the roster. If he goes to MLS, his club level is just going to decline so much. There's a lot of guys already in Europe ready to take his place.
Okay, very good.
So he needs a move to maybe also a league like Holland or Belgium, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe he can go play for, and this is an actual team name, he can go play for Go Ahead Eagles. That's to me the best team name in sports. By the way.
Hell yeah, dude! Hell yeah!
It's funny because it's a Dutch team, but the name's not in Dutch; it's in English. It's literally Go Ahead Eagles.
That's wow.
I think that'd be a good team for him, or somewhere in that league. I think would be a good landing spot for him.
Okay, very good. All right, next is the U.S. goalkeeper Matt Turner.
Yeah. He's our number one still. Goalkeeper right now is our most uncertain position. We don't know where this thing is going to go. Wow. We have a very, very, very promising young prospect. We talked about him a couple of weeks ago in Diego Cochin, who's playing in Barcelona B right now, but he's too young. I don't think he's going to be our starter for 2024. Wow. Sorry, for 2026. So Matt Turner's got to get his act together.
Okay.
This is one player that I would not mind coming back to MLS. Goalkeepers are very, very different. What's happening on the field doesn't really affect them all that much.
Right.
We want him taking shots and saving shots.
Okay. Gotcha.
Stopping goals.
Okay.
And that's something any goalkeeper can really do in MLS rather well. So I think Matt Turner needs to just come back to MLS. His European experiment has failed. And if he goes back to MLS and plays well, there's no reason why he shouldn't still be our number one.
Okay, very good.
For the time being.
Now it's interesting. I can't remember a time where there was this much uncertainty around the goalkeeper for Team USA. Yeah. Gone are the days of Casey Keller or even Tim Howard, where we knew who the goalkeeper was going to be. Yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, look, we went from Tony Meola to Brad Friedel to Casey Keller to Tim Howard.
Yeah.
Maybe Matt Turner just needs to shave his head. That'll do it. Because we've always had
Howard 2.0, right?
We've always had bald goalkeepers. So Casey Keller.
That's right. Keller was also bald.
Brad Friedel was bald too. Meola went bald at one point. Even Brad Guzan,
so he went bald.
Yeah. So maybe that's all he needs to do. But yeah, Matt Turner could really use a move, and I think MLS. It's time to come back to MLS.
Okay, very good. And this guy, now, I don't know who this dude is, unless maybe I hear his name, but I can't. And again, if he played for Team USA, I just don't remember his face.
Yeah, this is Malik Tillman. He's still, I think he's still a Bayern Munich player.
Okay.
But he's been out on loan for the last few years. He's playing at PSV Eindhoven, a fantastic team, best team in Holland, and he is probably right now their best player.
Wow.
He needs to move out of Holland, not because of the other guys, because he's struggling.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
think he's outgrown the Dutch league.
So he needs better competition.
Absolutely. I want to see him in Germany. Maybe he's not a Bayern Munich level yet, but I can see him at a Stuttgart or maybe a Dortmund. Go play with Gio Reyna.
Yeah, right. I was going to say.
Although
I knew
we'll talk
that.
about Reyna here in a minute.
Yeah, we will
But,
talk about Gio here in a little
Yeah,
bit.
he needs to not necessarily go to a top team, but he needs to step up the league.
Okay.
I think Germany's a good spot for him. It's a league that's conducive to his abilities. Is not too physical like the English league or too technical like the Spanish league.
Mhm.
He's right in that sweet spot right there in Germany, and I think that's where he needs to go.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Now, of course, now we will talk about the aforementioned Giovanni Reyna. So where do you think Gio should go? Because Gio is a little bit of an enigma. Remember a couple weeks ago, we talked about the Landon Donovan comments about him. You're a soccer player. You're not just a practice player. Where do you think he should go and why?
He's an enigma wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in a Tootsie Roll pop or something. Man, this guy. So just what we talked about him, talked all the smack about him a couple weeks ago. He's gotten the last 2 starts for Dortmund and has played really, really well. He even scored a banger of a goal.
Wow. Okay.
For them last week. However, I do think he needs to move. I think he's gotten these last few starts because the player that normally plays his position's injured right now. That's Julian Brandt.
Okay.
So when Brandt comes back, I can see Gio Reyna going back to the bench, and I don't know how much they'll use him. His coach says that he loves him and he wants to play him more, but that wasn't the case before the injury. That wasn't the case before the injury, so I don't know what's changed since. Now, we went through this last year also, and he went to Nottingham Forest in January on a loan, which I told you, by the way, would not be a good idea. Yeah. And that was an abject disaster. He got barely any minutes of playing time in Nottingham Forest. If he goes on loan, which I think he needs to go to Spain or maybe Italy, to a mid-level team. Just a team where
Gio needs all. So you also think he needs better competition like Malik?
Not necessarily better, just different.
I think more consistent, where he can.
He needs to play. This guy needs to be playing, and not in MLS, by the way.
Okay. Oh, definitely, yeah.
He needs to go to a situation for at least for 6 months. That's fine. Go out on loan until the summer, or get a permanent transfer. It doesn't really matter. But he needs to go to a team that's going to value him for the player that he is, and is going to make him the guy in the middle of the field.
Okay.
So I'm looking at middle of the road teams in the Italian league or the Spanish leagues. Those are leagues very, very, very well suited to Gio Reyna's talents. Very technical, where you have players that can play in tight spaces like Gio Reyna.
Right.
And just go somewhere where you're going to be valued. Well, like I said, whether that's a loan or a permanent transfer. Honestly, at this point, it doesn't matter because I'm not sure how much use he's going to get out of Dortmund.
Let me ask you this, man. Does Gio Reyna have do you think that he could have, do you think he has the type of talent that could make him the striker instead of, I mean, obviously you can only have really one striker per se, but could he be the number one scoring option for Team USA, or is that Pulisic?
Well, that's a product of them being as good as they are, right? So these guys are midfielders, both of them. Our strikers are going to be probably Pepe and Balogun for the next 10 years.
Yeah, dude. Balogun.
Having said that, what we want to find who that number 10 is going to be in the middle of the field.
Yes.
Up until Pochettino came into the picture, our best number 10 option has always been Gio Reyna.
Okay.
Now, Pochettino did play Pulisic in these last couple of games at the number 10, right? And for those of you that don't know, the number 10 sits right at the top of the box, right behind the striker, and he pretty much directs the entire attack. That's your most important player.
Right. And a lot of times they also wear the number 10.
Yeah, most of the time. Pulisic wears the number 10, but I don't think he's our best 10 option. I think Gio Reyna is our best 10 option.
Okay.
Because, and here's why, because you move Pulisic to the middle, we don't have anybody who can really replace Pulisic on the left. Okay. You move Pulisic on the left, Gio Reyna might do a better job than Pulisic at the 10.
Okay.
So now you have 2 really strong options on the left and at the 10 versus 1 really strong option at the 10 and somebody else
that makes sense.
Not as suited on the left side because Gio can't play the left side.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, I think look, our front line, and I love what Pepe said during an interview after the last camp, is that he said Pochettino gave us no instructions. He told us to go out there, be creative, and we are the attack. So those 4 players up front, which right now the best ones would be Pulisic, Reina, Tim Weah, and Balogun up top.
Okay, and Balogun, right? Okay.
If those 4 players have creative freedom,
Oh
man,
my
this
God.
guy's the limit because these guys could really do some damage.
Yeah, because they all have like, I don't know, they all have like track star type speed. Yeah. All those guys can fucking fly, man.
Absolutely, they can. Yeah.
Okay, and the last guy with the funny hair.
The last guy, this is Anthony Jedi Robinson.
Love it.
Now, this is the one guy I said we talked about earlier. These are guys I think need a move.
Okay.
Anthony Robinson does not need a move. He needs to stay right where he is.
Okay.
The reason I brought him up is because, honestly, out of all Americans, even including Christian Pulisic, I think he's having the best season. Okay. This guy's exceeding all expectations in the Premier League. They actually played Real Madrid, and he shut down Vini Jr. This guy is outstanding. He's becoming one of the best left backs in the Premier League, which is the best league in the world. Right now, he's being tied to Liverpool. Liverpool apparently wants him very, very badly.
Wow. And I don't think guys play for Team USA.
Yeah, I don't know that he should go to Liverpool.
Okay, why not?
The reason for that, I think Liverpool has a lot of star power. I think Liverpool can bring in any player that they want at any time.
Sure.
So if he goes to Liverpool and his level drops just a little bit, Liverpool can spend some big money and bring somebody else over him. I think he's right where he needs to be. He's facing top competition every single week. He's competing for a European spot right now. His team is.
Okay.
And, he's on his way to becoming a club legend. This guy's absolutely tearing it up in full.
Wow.
And he is right at his level, right where he needs to be. Anthony, if you're hearing this, do not leave Fulham. This is where you need to be.
Stay in Fulham. It really does sound like, and I'm going to tell you what, man, the way you've talked about these 6 players, I mean, dude, like it sounds like Team USA could be, dare I say, loaded in 2026.
Look, we have the talent. The talent's definitely there, and it's been there since 2022, in spite of Greg Berhalter.
There you go. I was going to say, don't mention Bruce Arena's name, but yeah.
No, we don't have to mention him. But yeah, look, if Pochettino, number one, the key, most important thing is, can all these guys stay healthy?
Right, of course.
Gio Reyna, Christian Pulisic, even Tim Weah and Weston McKennie, they've all dealt with injuries throughout their career.
Yeah, right.
Right now, Balogun's injured. He might not be back. Serginho Dest has been out for a year.
Yeah, he hasn't played in a while.
Tyler Adams is just coming back. So if these guys can get healthy over the next year, come together in the summer, and start pushing that run until 2026, I think we really could see something special.
Wow.
I really do.
All right. So when you say we can really see something special, are we talking obviously knockout round or bust, right? We talking quarterfinals? No.
To me, if they're all healthy, to me it's semifinals or bust.
What?
Yeah.
Dude,
I think
it would be a fucking party in the USA if that happened, dude.
Look, let me put it this way. You bring in a name like Mauricio Pochettino.
Yeah.
You have the most talented players you've ever had. For this team to live up to its moniker as the golden generation, they have to do something that America hasn't done before.
Wow.
We've reached the quarterfinals before.
We have. Yep.
Bruce Arena did it when Landon Donovan was on his first World Cup.
Yeah.
So you got to do something we haven't done before. You got to make it to that semifinal.
That would be.
And you're at home.
We're at home, dude. That would be, honestly, man, that could be the story of the decade, man.
Yeah.
That would be the story of the decade.
Yeah.
If Team USA could somehow oh my God, if they could get to the semifinals, maybe even oh my God, I can't even, dude.
And look, don't tell me.
Collective mind, man.
I haven't been reading the chat, but if anybody says it can't be done, Morocco did it last time.
Dude, they came out of nowhere, right?
They came out of nowhere. They won one of the toughest groups in the World Cup, and they beat Spain, they beat Portugal. I mean, these guys were on fire, and they did it.
Crazy.
So don't tell me it can't be done.
Wow, yeah, I remember Morocco. Morocco, in my mind, Morocco was the story of the World Cup a couple of years
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, that was
100%. It was overshadowed by Lionel Messi finally winning it, obviously.
Of course.
But, yeah, that absolutely was the story of the World Cup. South Korea did it at home, too, in 2002. It absolutely can be done.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. Yeah, it was overshadowed, of course, rightfully so, by Lionel Messi, which also overshadowed the fact that the Golden Boot was given to Kylian Mbappe.
Yep.
We all remember that iconic image of them all celebrating on stage and Mbappe sitting there with his trophy. He's looking like, dude, I do not want to fucking be here.
Yeah, no, he was dejected. Honestly, look, Mbappe, if France had won the last World Cup, Mbappe had or he still does because he's still very young. He has a very strong case to make to be the best ever.
Yeah, he is.
And the reason I say that is because he won his first World Cup at
19.
17. I think he was 18.
Wow.
Either way, this guy's still 23, 24 years old.
Yeah, he's still young, man. He's still very young.
He wins 2 more. He ties Pele for the all-time record.
Oh, my God.
So, it's there for the taking for him if he keeps his head on straight and if France can actually do it. The most inconsistent team in international football.
Of course, right. Yeah,
but,
for those guys, right?
Yeah, but yeah, for us, to me, even when it was Berhalter at the helm, I was saying semifinals or bust because this golden generation's got to do something that we haven't done before.
It's now or never at this point, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, very good. All right, let's move to our next topic. And actually, I hadn't planned on talking about this until later on in the show, but it seems to be dominating the conversation in the chat. So Level Up Man says all 4 of the college football round 1 games were blowouts. This format is absolutely awful. Jared Atkinson says the 4 team had a lot of blowouts too. I don't know. So the 4 teams. Okay, so the 4 they had a lot of blowouts too. He says you're right, Jared. And we just watched 4 more, and there are at least 2 more coming in round 2. 12 teams is too many. That is actually quite interesting. Notre Dame blew out Indiana. Penn State absolutely blew out SMU. Texas blew out Clemson, although I thought that it was close for about 5 minutes, and now Ohio State is up 42-10 on Tennessee. That game is going to be over. Me personally, I like the format very much. I like the fact that not only are we getting matchups that we've never seen before, again, we're getting college football playoff games at night on campus. I think but I think what these blowouts prove is, and I don't think they should change the format, but what this blowout proves is that 4 teams was probably enough in the first place. And we're starting to see why. Okay, Indiana snuck in, SMU, they lost the ACC title game to Clemson, who was probably, think about this. Clemson beat SMU in the ACC title game, and Clemson still is seated lower than SMU, and they both got blown out. Tennessee, of course, plays in the SEC. Ohio State in the Big Ten, they're getting blown out. So I think, if anything, this proves that 4 teams were already enough, but it's nice to see them get invited to the party. And we also have to understand this too, guys. The NFL playoff format has been around forever. Every once in a while, you do have what the Broncos were 15-1 one year. Jacksonville went in an expansion franchise. First year it went into Denver, and they gave Denver the loss. Every once in a while, you do get a heavy favorite that goes down. I think if we give it a little more time, maybe we do see an upset or 2 in the first round. But this year, it appears that is not what's been going on. So, Jay Blaze, what are your thoughts on the college football playoff, the blowouts? What do you think of the format, et cetera, et cetera?
So I think what they're planning on is to have like that VCU team that it is a complete Cinderella team.
Sure.
And I think they want that for the 12 game because they want their own March Madness.
Yeah,
the first round.
I like that. I like that.
I think that's what they want. But the problem is with the NIL, it's showing the teams with the big donors and the big markets are going to go to the top. And so it's going to be tough for a team to have that NIL until they get a collective bargaining where they get their own their own salary cap. But it's going to be very difficult. And it's going to be tough because right now you're seeing Alabama. I think Alabama's not in a big market. So this is why Nick Saban retired, because he didn't want to deal with this.
Right.
Because if he had stayed, they can't get the money. They're going to have to get their own, they're going to have to increase ticket prices or get their donors to do that. And it's going to be tough for a Cinderella team to come out and go any given Sunday like the NFL.
Miami J, what are your thoughts? Because it's a very interesting conversation. I never thought I was thinking, hey, we were just talking about this off the air, man, this is a great format, but this is, these comments are actually, there's actually something to what they're saying. So what do you make of all these blowouts so far?
There is, and look, this is the beauty of the NCAA. They always manage to get us talking about their formatting, right?
Fair enough.
Look, I think it's too early to call this format a bust. I happen to think this is fantastic for college football.
Yeah.
1 year you can't really judge this. We got to give it a few years. Like we actually gave the bowl championship series. You remember that?
Yeah, the BCS. I remember that.
So look, you gotta imagine. I think what really we could fix more is the conferences the way they are.
Okay.
The last few years they've really been in flux. You've had teams moving everywhere. I think once the conferences settle in, you're going to have a lot more parity between sides of the country.
Okay.
Because somebody's got to emerge to rival the SEC. I think the Big Ten.
The Big Ten is probably it, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's going to emerge to rival the SEC. And there's going to come a 12-team playoff where you're going to have 4 SEC teams, 4 Big Ten teams, and 4 independent teams.
Yep.
And that's going to be fantastic. You're going to have Florida State going down to Florida, or Michigan having to go to Ohio State for a playoff game. Can you imagine that?
Dude,
that's going to be fantastic.
Awesome, yeah.
Or LSU having to go play Alabama.
Yeah.
Or, things like this. This format, I think, is going to yield great results. And I think we need to give it time.
No, I agree.
Don't get me wrong. I'm as disappointed by the blowouts as anybody else. I had money on Tennessee tonight. And that's not turning out too well.
No.
But, I don't like blowouts, but I think the Final Four is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Or the Final 8.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fantastic, and just give it some time. It'll come up.
Listen, I think it's a net positive because I think the ratings are obviously through the roof. And college football is very regional, and I think the fact that they've expanded this college football playoff, I think it's becoming more national because just like you said, the SEC now has a rival in the Big Ten, and I think we discussed this a few weeks back. College football, especially now with NIL and all this conference realignment, at some point there's going to be a de facto NFC, if you will, and an AFC. Maybe the SEC is the NFC, maybe the Big Ten is the AFC or the NFC, but it's really going to be 2 super conferences, playing each other. Every once in a while, you'll get an independent school like a Notre Dame who gets in, or a directional school, or even a service academy. I was actually foolishly thinking that my team this year was Army. I was like, dude, I want Army to get into the playoffs. That would have been a great story.
I would have loved that. Yeah,
dude, that would have been fucking awesome. And
could you imagine Army going into Navy or the Air Force Academy for a playoff game?
Oh my God.
Come on.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. That would be unbelievable. It's interesting. Army and Navy played this past weekend. Navy pulled the upset. What I thought they should have done is I thought that 2 players from Army and 2 players from Navy should have got together and planted the American flag in the middle of the field, right? Which would have effectively ended the flag planting. But yeah, anytime you get a story like Army and college football, we're just kind of looking at them off in the cut. Or let's just say that Colorado had gotten into the playoffs. That would have been unbelievable. Those are going to get ratings no matter what. And we'll talk about a derivative of the University of Colorado a little bit later on, if you know what I mean. Pardon me. But yeah, I love this for college football. I love that we're getting matchups that we've never seen before. It looks like, let's see. So it's going to be, so Penn State is going to go to Boise State. I don't think Penn State's ever played Boise State. Now we've got Notre Dame going into, I think, now that's going to be the Sugar Bowl. So I don't know if that's going to be in Athens or Atlanta. And I know
Isn't that normally in New Orleans?
You're right. That's exactly where it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Yeah. You know what? You're right, because the national championship is in Atlanta, but the Sugar Bowl is at. I remember the Nokia Sugar Bowl, Danny Warfel, the fun and gun offense, and all that good stuff.
Damn right.
But yeah, I think it's a net positive. I think there are a lot more eyeballs on college football. And I don't have a college football team that I'm a fan of. I just like watching competitive college football. But for people that are regional, like people in Austin or people in Clemson or in Columbus, Ohio, I think it's a win-win for everybody. I think it helps recruiting. And not only that, I think it helps with revenue. I think a lot of these home college football playoff games, I think it could help their NIL collective. So that's even more, to me, that's even more of an incentive. to really take it seriously.
Level Up Man in the chat says this format is excellent for ratings, which is all ESPN cares about.
Yep.
I'll say you're right, but
Yeah.
I'll also say it's excellent for ratings because it's excellent for the fans. Go Gators.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Oh, I like the strategically placed helmet there. How did didn't I think Florida just won the Gasparilla Bowl, didn't they?
Yeah, we beat Tulane. But,
yeah, Tulane. Hey,
but,
man.
hey,
All good.
and also, by the way, I got to push back on you, Donovan, a little bit. I'm as good as the Big Ten might get. I'm not sure it's ever actually going to rival the SEC as a conference. You'll have teams in the playoffs that'll battle each other out, but as a conference, look, the SEC is not
very
going
top heavy. The Big Ten is top heavy.
Exactly.
It's top heavy, but the SEC is deep, dude.
The SEC is super
Texas
deep.
and Oklahoma, fam.
Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, LSU, Florida, Georgia. Shit.
Tennessee.
Vanderbilt goes to bowl games now.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, man.
Exactly. You know?
Yeah.
All right, please give me the last word on your take on college football.
I like the concept, and I think they're a few years away from you got to get the transfer stuff and kind of do like a trade deadline sort of to get the elite coaches, because you just had who's the guy that was in Philly, and then Chip Kelly. He just went from coach to OC because he didn't want to deal with this.
Yeah, right.
So you need to make absolute rules against the transfer portal. So because a lot of these teams have a quarterback and they're losing the quarterback or some of these players right before they like go into camp or whatever, and you got to get that situation. You got to get the NIL situated. And dude, don't sleep on Belichick went to North Carolina.
Yes, he did.
So if you can get some of that situated, you can get some of these coaches that could become wild cards and have that Cinderella story if they get their program.
Honestly, do we have Belichick going to North Carolina as a topic? Because if we don't, I got to say something right now.
No, we don't. But go ahead.
I think it's going to be a failure.
You think so?
Look, if I'm being honest, what was Belichick ever without Tom Brady?
5-11, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think honestly, sure, the Belichick Brady marriage created a juggernaut.
Yeah.
But you take them apart, and Brady is the one that was able to stand on his own.
Sure.
Other than that, I don't think Belichick's got really done anything else of note. I honestly think he's going to go there, and I think he's going to fail. He's going to want to turn it into some kind of an NFL program, and that's just not conducive to the college game. And honestly, I don't see it working out.
Now, here's the thing. 5 years ago, I would have agreed with you, but we are sitting here talking about how much more similar college football is now to the NFL. We are talking about a collective bargaining agreement for NIL. And here's something else about college football. It really kind of almost is a mirror of the NFL, because the transfer portal, what's that? That's free agency, right? The NIL collective, that's what you're paying the players. And now we've got the collective bargaining agreement. I think now I don't think college football will ever be eye to eye with the NFL in terms of the way it operates, but I think that Bill Belichick, and honestly, I don't know, like you can make a good case for him failing and a good case for him succeeding. But with Bill Belichick, if ever there was a time for a guy like him to get into college football, it would be right now, because college football is a lot more like the NFL than it was even a year ago. So, and another thing about Bill Belichick is that in North Carolina is going to give him a $10 million. They're going to give him a $10 million collective. So they're like, hey man, we're going to give you guys $10 million. Go out and buy all the players. And another thing about recruiting, I don't think Bill Belichick has to be a good recruiter. Just like I told you guys in the chat this week, all he really has to do is to walk into some kid's living room, slap down his 6 rings and say, hey, look, man, I turned the 199th overall draft pick back in 2000 into the greatest player the NFL has ever seen. And I've won as many Super Bowls as any one franchise combined. I mean, what kid is going to say no to that? Now, obviously, he needs to get an offensive coordinator. He almost needs to get like a Chip Kelly type of offensive coordinator. If Bill Belichick, and honestly, I think Bill Belichick understands. I think he understands that the world has changed. I don't think he honestly believes that he can go in there and run Carolina like he ran the Patriots back in 2010. It's just not going to work that way. And I think the reason why he is going to college football, and I don't think he's going to be there for too long. I think he'll be there for a year or two, maybe less. I think he's going to college football not only to keep a body in motion stays in motion. I think he wants to show the world that, hey, you know what? I can identify with the younger player. I can change my stripes, turn over a new leaf. Tom Coughlin was the same way. He was a hard ass, and it was my way or the highway, and his players didn't like it. So what did he do? He changed, and he ended up winning 2 Super Bowls in New York because he changed. Now, it's hard for a man to change who is 72 years old, but if anybody can do it, my guess is that Bill Belichick has to do it, because I'll tell you this. If he fails at Carolina, he will not get another NFL head coaching job again. No. A lot of people think that Bill Belichick, as it is, will never coach another game in the NFL. Carolina is his only chance to get back to the league and challenge that Don Shula record. So Belichick, this is not a project for him. Belichick is like, dude, this is my shot. It's almost like he's re-auditioning to become an NFL head coach, because he is going to be dealing with with a lot of the players that he's going to be coaching.
Let me just finish this, Blaze, and then I'll turn it over to you. I think the fact that he even has to prove himself to the NFL says a lot. I think the fact, look, this guy has the pedigree and the record that the minute he was out in New England, he should have had 5 offers from him.
Yeah, you're right.
So the fact that no GM was willing to give him a call or pick up the phone, to me, says a lot. These guys know something that we're not hearing about.
Actually, I'll tell you what really hurt him was the Brady documentary. That really,
that too.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Not to mention, he was cringy as hell in the Netflix Brady roast.
He was, but that's who he was, man. Like, dude, you can't make an omelet if you don't break a few eggs, right? What are your thoughts?
Sorry, Blaze, I cut you off.
Oh, you're all right.
Oh, it's fine. So the things that hurt Belichick was he was such a prick to the media for the longest time.
Yes.
But the thing that helps him with Carolina, he has a girlfriend that's young, so he knows what she's 24. So he knows the times. Like, he has a person he can ask, oh, what does this mean? So that does help. And the other thing is he doesn't, like, he's always been a defense coordinator. He knows systems. So I think he might not get those like 5-star offensive recruits, but he's going to get those 4 to 5-star defensive recruits. And similar to Alabama towards the end of Nick Saban, he just needs like a good offense, but he could make that defense great. And he can just say to these people coming out, hey, I know exactly how I can mold your son, who's like a defensive end or something, into becoming a first round. He might not be able to say that to a quarterback, but he's going to be able to say that to a cornerback. A cornerback, linebacker, or defensive end.
No, I totally agree. That's actually a very good point. I think he could definitely recruit defensive players because, again, along with the rings, he could be like, dude, Mike Vrabel, Teddy Bruschi, Ty Law, Lawyer Malloy, dude, Richard C. Like, dude, like one thing about Belichick, he can definitely coach defense. If he can get somebody to figure out the offensive side, I think he'll have a much better chance of doing well. Jared Atkinson says that was with Cleveland though, and he's a master defensive coordinator. I like the move. No, yes, he did get fired in Cleveland, but the year before Brady got to New England, the New England Patriots were 5-11, and then Brady showed up. Drew Bledsoe got his clock cleaned by Mo Lewis. He comes in. The rest is history. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'll tell you what. One thing's for sure. We are all going to be watching Carolina games next year. That's for sure. Carolina's probably going to, honestly, the Bill Belichick effect in a different way almost might be like the Coach Prime effect. Now, Coach Prime is flashy. Coach Prime is a brilliant recruiter. And somebody in the chat said, level up, man. This is truer words never spoken. A good recruiter almost always outperforms a good coach in the game. That's what was special about Nick Saban. He was an exemplary recruiter. And it's funny, now that Nick Saban is on TV, now we really see his personality. He's funny, he's engaging, he knows what he's talking about, and he's a very good head coach. So I think that's one thing that Belichick does not have. He does not have the personality. So this is almost like a prove it type of deal.
Yeah.
Can you connect with young players? Are you going to be the mean curmudgeon? Because it's not my way or the highway anymore. Because if he says it's my way or the highway, kid's gonna be like, all right, cool. I'll just go to Florida State, or cool, I'll just go down to LSU. So I think I think this has boom or bust potential.
I think this is what
successful
it's going to end up at.
Yeah.
I'll finish it with, or I'll give it to you, Blaze, right after this. I think this is my last word on it. I think Belichick. First off, I think the comment's very, very true. Good recruiting outperforms good coaching in college all the time. I think Belichick's going to be very, very successful at getting kids and sending them to the NFL. I think in the whatever the draft is 3-4 years from now, we're going to see a ton of Carolina kids in the first round.
Yes.
I don't think that's going to translate into wins and playoff appearances.
Okay. So hyper talented, just, not okay. Yeah. Very good. Very good. CVD Gestures, my biggest fan, clearly. Dude, I can promise you almost nobody got notifications for this podcast. We have 27 people watching, yet CVD Gestures is one of them. It says, dude, you don't know football. Bruh. That's why I know you're my biggest fan, because you have no idea.
You know what? I'd be happy to host it on my channel next week, and CBD Gestures, come on. Tell us.
I swear it's so funny. Haters want you to think that they really hate you, but dude, we got 25 people watching, and you're one of them. Like, come on, dude, what are you doing?
So what they just really want you to mention their name on the air.
Yeah,
that's all they want.
I'll give him all the attention. I'll give him all the attention he wants. What's up, Blaze?
So let me ask you, what is a successful season next year for Bill? I think this is the chance to get in the back in the NFL. If he can have we don't expect playoffs or a national championship or anything. If he can get some solid seasons, and I think the key is Brady's Hall of Fame induction. If he can become if he can give out, if he can be the person to hand off the Hall of Fame to Brady, that could be the thing that gets him back in the league. If he has some good seasons behind him,
I think I totally agree. But Belichick's not going to be there for the 5 years. I think I think at most he might be 3 seasons. He might do 3 seasons and then pass it off to his kid. But I think he is there. I think he's there to try. It's a new project. He wants to keep the wheels turning. And listen, coaching keeps you young, man. I mean, dude, Pete Carroll is 77 years old. He's got the most energy of any coach in NFL history, right? So I think this is keeping him young. He's got the girlfriend. Now he's going to UNC. I hope he does well, man, because a lot of people really don't like Coach Belichick because he is kind of a dick. And here's another thing. Nick Saban was also a dick. There is a famous story after Nick Saban won his 3rd or 4th national championship. His coaching staff hated him, and he's out on the tarmac and he's cussing people out. He's like, look, if you want to be on my team, meet me out on the tarmac, get on the private jet. We're going to go recruiting. Nobody showed up. So he had to go out and hire a new staff. Maybe Nick Saban at that point said, okay, maybe I do need to turn over a new leaf. He gets Steve Sarkisian, he rehabilitates him. And now Steve Sarkisian just got done blowing out Clemson. So I think this could be a very good learning experience for Belichick. I hope he does well, but it'll be very interesting to see how it works. To answer your question, a successful season, Jared Atkinson says they might sneak 10 games next year. I think they might. I think a successful season for Bill Belichick is Carolina becoming bowl eligible and maybe winning not a major bowl, Car Care Meineke Bowl or the Toilet Bowl or a Poke Bowl or a Cereal Bowl. I think if the Carolina Tar Heels get into bowl contention and they win a bowl game, I think that is a successful first season for Carolina. Then of course, if he has success, then he's going to have to build on it, and we'll see where it goes from there.
I think a low top 25 finish is what people
that would exceed everybody's expectations.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. You bring a coach like that to a team like that, maybe not the mainstream media and the people who are the talking heads, but people in that town, people who are Carolina fans, are going to expect a lot.
Yes. Yes.
So I think they might be the boosters, especially. They might be the ones who are most disappointed by say just a bowl game.
I'll tell you what. Either way, whatever happens, listen. Nobody can predict the future, but one thing I know to be absolutely true: Carolina is going to be the most watched college football team all next year. It's almost going to be like Colorado was last year. I mean, that was unbelievable. And hey, it's like you said, ESPN cares about the ratings. Well, guess what? People are going to be watching the Tar Heels. All right, let's switch over to the NFL, guys, on the professional level, even though college football really is kind of professional anyway. So the Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Houston Texans earlier this afternoon by the score of 27-19. Patrick Mahomes was rumored to have, not rumored, but he has the high ankle sprain. A lot of people in the media. Oh, wow. There's a lineman. Oh, so it looks like Seth McLaughlin tore his Achilles for Ohio State, so they're going to be down him. Jay Silva, we'll get to the fantasy help here shortly. But Jay Blaze actually sent me a very interesting post. I don't know if this was on X, Twitter, whatever the case may be. It says, breaking news, the Kansas City Chiefs will have end zones for the rest of Patrick Mahomes' career. And when you sent that, it sort of struck a chord with me because it really does seem that Kansas City, and it happened at least 3 times in this game against the Houston Texans. It appears, gentlemen, that every single time there is a questionable call or a call can go either way, every single time it goes the Chiefs' way. The Chiefs are the worst 14-1 football team I have ever watched. They're stagnant on offense. Their defense every once in a while can be a sieve. It's just they're always a bounce or two away from losing. They blocked the field goal. And listen, I'm not trying to take anything away from Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce. If this season has showed us nothing else about the Chiefs, is that they are the best team in football situationally. If it's 4th and 1, they always get 2 yards. If they need a 58-yard field goal, Harrison Butker or whoever is kicking now will kick at 61 yards. But the fact of the matter is that the Kansas City Chiefs are clearly getting home cooking, and it is one of the reasons why they are 14-1. So Miami J, what do you think? I mean, you're not a Chiefs fan, so we don't watch Chiefs games all the time. They are on national TV a lot. What are your thoughts, man?
Well, you're right. I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I am a football fan, and I will say, look, and I make fun of it every time we say it. The worst 14-1 team. They're 14-1, man.
Yeah, right.
Look, and I do gotta say the way they came back against Houston today was fucking impressive, man.
Yeah, it was.
They were down 28-0, and they came back and they pretty much ran the table on them. Sorry. Do they get the calls every time? Sure, they do. But you know what? Is that a conspiracy? I don't know.
I don't think it's a conspiracy.
Look, the NFL needs to have that team that everybody hates. It was the Patriots up until a few years ago.
That's right.
Now it's the Chiefs.
Kansas City.
The Patriots always seem to get every call that go their way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, after the Chiefs, give it a few more years and it'll be the Dolphins.
Yeah, right. There you go. Absolutely. I don't think it's a conspiracy, but you make a very good point about the Patriots because when Patrick Mahomes won his first Super Bowl, listen, we all love Patrick Mahomes, and then we love Mahomes and Kelce and Andy Reid. But I totally agree with you. But I will also say this: the New England Patriots had probably the greatest dynasty in North American sports history, and they got a lot of calls go their way. A lot of things, balls bounced in certain ways. Maybe they should have got a call here, didn't get one there. But winning a Super Bowl, it takes luck. It really does take luck. But luck equals opportunity plus preparation. So they might get a few favorable calls here and there, but they put themselves in position to win every time. And just like you said, at the end of the day, they are 14-1. And I will say this before I kick it over to Blaze. If the Chiefs played the Eagles right now in the regular season, the Eagles would win that game by 5 touchdowns. But if they played them in the Super Bowl, I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Jay Blaze,
would they beat them in the regular season, though?
Yeah, we did last year.
Right now, on paper, if they play tomorrow,
yeah, dude, the Eagles will.
On paper, the Eagles should win it.
Yeah,
but will they?
We would stomp, dude. We would absolutely stomp those boys.
You think? So?
But if it were a Super Bowl, no. No. And that's the thing. The Chiefs play their best football when it means the most. whether it's regular season, postseason.
Yeah.
We all thought that the Baltimore Ravens were going to steamroll Kansas City. We had the same conversation about Kansas City last year. They're the worst, number 1 seed or the number 2 seed or whatever, and they ended up winning the whole thing.
And you know what? I'll say this, and Blaze, I apologize. I know you've been waiting to get your 2 cents in, but the fact that we keep saying it, and we're not the only ones who say it, that they're the worst 14-1 team ever.
Sure.
That's what gives them fuel right there.
Yeah.
That's why they go to practice every day.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, we're giving them their bulletin board material. All right, Jay Blaze, what are your thoughts on the Chiefs? Do you think they get the call? I don't think there's a conspiracy, but clearly, at least from where I'm sitting, and remember, against the Falcons, there was a clear pass interference against Drake London. Trent McDuffie literally held Drake London. The flag was in his pocket. The Falcons should have won that game. They didn't. What are your thoughts?
So they're trying to set the Chiefs up to be heels. They just don't work as heels. I think they're too likable.
Yeah.
Because clearly Patrick Mahomes is the player, the flag carrier. It used to be Brady. The Patriots were great heels because they were boring to watch.
Yep.
They were not likable because Tom Brady couldn't even show his personality at all until he went to the Bucs.
Right.
Dude, Patrick Mahomes, great guy.
Yep.
Married his high school sweetheart, and
middle school sweetheart.
You had Harrison Buckner earlier. You just want to like them, but dude, the rep do I think the NFL says, hey, if you can swing it a little bit over here, hey, just do it, because they want the Chiefs to go undefeated. They wanted them too, because dude, you have Taylor Swift. They want
Donna
they
Kelsey,
want her. They want Kelsey. They want Taylor Swift in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl, and they just want it. And we saw this with the Patriots. Tom Brady kept going to Super Bowls. Do I think the Patriots were really good? Yes, they were. But sometimes a ball here or there would go their way. It's the same thing for the Chiefs, but dude, it's wild. And dude, Tank Dell going down, that is not good for the Texans.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, that is absolutely a killer. And I'll tell you this, man. Tank Dell is, and now they've got Nico Collins back, who, by the way, dude, Nico Collins low key is one of the best receivers in the AFC. When he's done with his rookie deal, I think he's probably gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe $30 to $32 million, probably in the AJ Brown, Devontae Smith area. But no, I agree with you totally. I don't think the NFL, quote unquote, wants the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. I think they want them in the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. If you get them in the Super, listen, the Super Bowl is going to break records anyway. People are going to watch it no matter what. But if you have the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, for the 4th time in 5 years, going for a three-peat, that's absolutely going to be ratings gold. I don't know. I think maybe there's a little bit of referee bias. Well, it's the Chiefs, and they're a well-coached football team, and it's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. All right, holding number whatever on the offense. It just seems that every questionable call seems to go their way. I can't remember the last time. It's almost like every time a team needs one play, all they got to do is stop Patrick Mahomes on 3rd and 12. They hit Patrick Mahomes. Somebody looks at him funny. Personal foul, roughing the passer. I watched it happen today in Houston. That game was turned around on 2 devastating penalties, and Houston unfortunately could not recover. But just like you said, Miami, Jay, they are 14-1, and I think the fact that we're sitting here talking about them as the worst 14-1 team in football or NFL history, I think that gives them fuel. But at some point, listen, man, the Patriots won 6 Super Bowls. They never won 3 in a row. They won 2 out of 3, I think, one year. And I think they almost won 3 out of 4. But at some point, the ball's going to bounce the other way. Remember, the 2007 Patriots were unstoppable. Nobody could stop them. They went undefeated. They boat raced every team. They get to Super Bowl 42, and they're upset by Eli Manning. I think the Chiefs are due for a Super Bowl 42-esque type of game. And if there's any team that is going to be susceptible to that, if there's any team that's going to be susceptible to taking a loss in the 1st or 2nd round with the record they have, it's definitely this year, because the Chiefs are quite simply not the same team. You can
Yeah,
see
but
Travis Kelce, he's aging right before our eyes.
he is, but again, we said that last year, and
Mhm.
but we said the same thing last year.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
this was
said,
this was the year to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, and
you're right. We said that last year, and we're saying it again this year. At some point, it's got to catch up to them. The law of averages dictates it.
yeah,
Unless there's some egregious call. Because I remember the in Super Bowl 52 when Nick Foles outdueled Tom Brady. You guys remember the catch rule? Does he survive the fall? There was something about the catch rule. So Nick Foles throws a touchdown pass to Zach Ertz. According to the catch rule, that was not a catch, but the referees got together and said, you know what? It's the Super Bowl. He got 2 feet in. It's a touchdown. That's the way they did it. At some point, the Chiefs' luck has got to run out unless somebody makes a conscious effort, and I don't think it's going to be that way. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are the best situational team in football. Regular season, I guess this would be the time to get them. But listen, you're right. We said that last year. We're now saying again this year. With the significance of that is that it's another year. It can't keep happening like this. It just can't. The law of averages is going to catch up to them at some point or another.
It will, but I'll second what Blaze said. Also, the fact that the Chiefs are so much more likable than the Patriots was, I think, plays a big role here. The Patriots were famously nicknamed the Evil Empire.
Yes.
And I dare anybody to
and the thing is I don't even think anybody dislikes Kansas City. I think they just dislike the referees. They're like, dude, the referees are fucking up for everybody.
That's always the criticism. It's not against Kansas City, it's against the refs.
There you go.
I'm not sure it's an institutional problem. I think it's actually a very human problem.
Yeah.
Because when you have a team that constantly let's say it's quote unquote likable.
Yeah, they are.
Constantly it's winning and constantly gets calls. Then it's
almost like confirmation bias, right? Well, it looked like exactly he was holding, right? No, I totally.
You tend to give him the benefit of the doubt, and that's a human problem by the referees that maybe the NFL needs to address. But
maybe
it's not the Chiefs' fault. I don't think.
No, definitely. No. I mean, what's Patrick Mahomes supposed to say? Hey, Mr. Referee, look, he didn't really grab me. No, he's going to take the fucking call every time.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to our next NFL game. The Baltimore Ravens met up with the Pittsburgh Steelers in Baltimore, and the game was actually pretty close until about the third quarter when hashtag Let Russ Cook threw a pick six. That changed the game. That completely changed the game. Then Derrick Henry breaks a long one. Next thing you know, it's 34-17, and now the Pittsburgh Steelers are in danger of not winning the AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens finally did what everyone told them to do. Give the ball to 22. That's what they did, and they very soundly beat a Pittsburgh Steelers team who had owned them in the past. I think Lamar Jackson was like 1-4 against the Steelers in his career. Well, now he's 2-4. Jay Blaze, what are your thoughts? So let me ask you this. I'll ask you both different questions. Does this win, do you think this makes the Ravens legitimate contenders to the Buffalo Bills and teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, or is it going to be the same old Lamar gets into the playoffs, wins the MVP, and they peter out?
Like we saw in the third quarter, Lamar threw this stupid pick. Yeah. Like they just got the ball back, and this is why you run the ball. Yeah. And dude, you play action, and dude, this is how you win. They could have beaten the Chiefs last year if they just ran the ball. Yep. They get away from what got him there, and I don't understand the play calling. It aggravates me so much because, dude, Lamar is a thrower. He's not a passer.
He's thrown he's thrown 37 touchdown passes this year. That's a career high. That's a lot.
Yeah, I will admit he is getting better, but dude, just run the ball. Just do what got you there, and then get some easy passes with Lamar. But, dude, if they can do what they did here, they're a contender.
Okay. All right.
But, dude, until Lamar does this stuff in the playoffs, I won't believe it. Because, dude, for some reason, he just I don't think it's a Lamar. He hasn't been good in the playoffs.
I don't think it's a Lamar problem. I think it's a Todd Monken problem. I think it's an offensive coordinator problem. It just doesn't make any sense. Why do you, dude? Lamar Jackson threw the ball 35 times against Kansas City in the AFC title game. What are now? Now, in hindsight, this is why they went out and got Derrick Henry, right? So if they get Derrick Henry in the playoffs, they need to dehydrate this dude, especially if they play the Chiefs. Everybody knows what's coming. You can't. The only team to stop Derrick Henry, your Philadelphia Eagles, best team and best defense in football. But outside of that, dude, Derrick Henry runs roughshod on everybody. What are your thoughts on this, Miami, Jay?
I'll second everything you guys said, and I'll add running backs like Derrick Henry don't exist anymore.
Nope.
They need to absolutely take advantage. You have one of the best running backs in football, top 3 for sure.
Absolutely.
You have
What
the best. It's this the iPad that I'm on. If I do things like this, it does little weird.
Whoa! Are you serious?
Yeah, I think if I do this one, it'll do something like rock on.
Whatever. Do the thumbs up again. Oh, yo, that's
and if I do take this one out, if I do this one,
get the
shit
out of here! Are you serious?
That's wild.
Yeah, I think this one does something too. Hang on.
Yo, that is
it does.
crazy.
There we go.
What the fuck? Oh my god! What in the hell?
Hey, the chop block's got special effects, baby. The chop block's
sorry
got
about that.
special
Holy
effects.
shit! I'm sorry. Please keep going. I didn't mean to derail the show, but goddamn.
No, it's all good. You have one of the best running backs in football. You have probably one of the best running quarterbacks in football. Run the damn ball.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell the Ravens. But yeah, I think if they do those things, absolutely they're a contender. 100%.
Okay, very good. Now here's the $1 million question.
Will they?
Yes, there you go. Can they? Any team can. Any given Sunday, any given Saturday, every given Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now these days, right?
Yeah. Look, John Harbaugh's a smart man.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh's a smart man. If he doesn't take the dumb risks that he sometimes takes, then yeah, they could. Okay. Absolutely.
Here's an interesting question from Jared Atkinson. Lamar, Allen, or Saquon for MVP? Right now, the MVP to me is clearly Josh Allen. It's clearly
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I don't know. Outside of Saquon breaking Eric Dickerson's, even I don't know. A lot of people in the media have said that if Saquon breaks Eric Dickerson's record, then he's definitely the MVP. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But Josh Allen is playing out of his mind. Not only that, his defense, and this is something people have not talked about. Okay, Josh Allen is literally Superman, but that defense, man, they're giving up like 40 points a game the last couple of games. For Allen to outgun and be in these wild, crazy shootouts, he beat the Detroit Lions last week. That, to me, that clearly makes him the MVP so far. What do you guys think?
Look, I'll say I'm not sure Lamar's even in the conversation, honestly, anymore.
No.
I will say, and maybe it's the fact that I'm a Dolphins fan and I'm biased, but I'm giving it to Saquon.
Really?
Yeah, I think what that dude's done in Philadelphia has been remarkable.
It's been ridiculous, dude. Wouldn't it be, dude? I'm gonna tell you what. This is so funny. This is how much of a G Howie Roseman is. 2 years ago, the first year we had AJ Brown. AJ Brown absolutely torched the Tennessee Titans. Torched them because that's where he got them from. Tennessee Titans fired their general manager the very next day. Imagine Saquon Barkley breaking Eric Dickerson's record against the Giants. I don't think Joe Shane is going to be. I think Joe Shane is out at the end of the year anyway. But dude, that would be. And here's a little extra spice for you. If you're Brian Daboll, talk about him getting the troops fired up, right, guys? We are out of the league. Listen, we're out. It's the Eagles. Blah 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 blah. We cannot let Saquon get this record. We cannot do it. Boy, that will be fucking theater. I'll tell you what, man. Looking forward to that.
And dude,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, and dude, the Giants, all they had to do was pay Saquon and say to Danny Dimes, "Yeah, we're not paying you 40."
That's all.
Dude,
they had to do. Oh, what a disaster!
It was wild.
But see, now we're finding out. I think this year we're really finding out how great Saquon is now that he's behind I think the Eagles probably have like maybe the second or third best offensive line in football. I think Detroit has the best offensive line. I think Atlanta, low-key, has the second best offensive line in football, which helps us seamlessly segue to this story. This week, the Atlanta Falcons have Raheem Morris, head coach of the Falcons, announced that they are benching Kirk Cousins and they will be starting the rookie, Michael Penix Jr. He is going to get his first NFL start this Sunday against the Giants. And a lot of people are speculating that Kirk Cousins might even be cut by the Atlanta Falcons. If that happens, Kirk Cousins wins in this situation because this dude got $100 million to play 13 games and he is going to ride off into the sunset. Miami J, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is the right? So let me ask you guys both this question. Do you think this is the right move, number one? And number two, could Michael Penix Jr. lead the Falcons to the playoffs? Miami J. Unmute yourself, please. That's okay.
Sorry, I think this is the Falcons saying now or never. I think this is boom or bust for the Falcons. Honestly, in a way, it's them giving up, and in a way, it's them throwing everything at the wall. And I'll say that because they have to find out what they have with Penix Jr.
Yes.
Before the year's up for them. In a way, they're giving up on the season. Let's say, it's done. Let's see what this kid can do. Or in the other one, they're saying we have nothing else, nothing to lose anymore. Let's see if this kid can get us there. I think it's a good move. I like it. Why not? Having said that, do you cut Kirk Cousins or not? I vote yes. So Miami can sign him as a backup.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Oh wow. That's okay. Blaze,
Miami needs a high caliber backup, and I think Kirk Cousins would be perfect.
I think it. Wow. That's a great take, man. I had not even thought about that. What are your thoughts, Blaze? Did they make the right move, and can Michael Penix Jr. lead them to the playoffs?
So the benchmark of the average quarterback used to be, I would say Matt Ryan, and now it's Kirk Cousins. Because think about when Kirk was with the Redskins, his contract year, they kept saying he's betting on himself. Dude, he had Shanahan, he had the coaching staff on that team was insane.
Yeah.
You had Shanahan, God. You had
Dan Quinn.
You had the guy for the Rams was
Sean
on the coaching
McVay,
staff
you
too.
had Mike McDaniel was there.
Yep.
Dude.
You're talking about the Redskins. Gotcha. Oh, dude.
Yeah, the Redskins.
Sean McVay, Mike McDaniel was there. Kyle Shanahan and the guy in Green Bay, Matt LaFleur. That's why RG3 won the Rookie of the Year back in 12.
And then you had Kirk Cousins go to the Vikings, and he downgraded. He was kind of like above average to like above, and then the Vikings coach came in, and we're seeing this with Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
he is elevating him, and so Kirk I think played above what he is, and now he's with the Falcons, and they don't have the coaching staff the Vikings did.
Yeah, and so Raheem Morris is a defensive head coach.
So you're seeing Kirk. This is what Kirk is. He's average. Okay. And I would still have Kirk Cousins play the end of the year, and maybe he gets on like a heater, and then you have some trading value for him, because right now there's no trading value.
No.
But but the problem is, dude, you're going to take so much guaranteed money hit if you cut him.
Yeah.
So, I think he has a no trade clause too, so that is tough.
He's got a no trade clause, but he's not. If the Falcons have made it clear that Penix is going to be the guy moving forward, why wouldn't Kirk Cousins waive that no trade clause to get out of town? Right?
Exactly.
And here's another thing. And if they cut Kirk Cousins, they're going to take a cap hit. But by the same token, you've got Michael Penix on the rookie contract. So if he outplays his rookie contract, you can sort of, in essence, absorb some of that salary cap hell that they'll be in if they decide to cut Kirk Cousins.
But I do feel bad for Kirk, because he went to the Falcons because they told him we're not drafting a quarterback. And then if he had stayed with the Vikings, they drafted a quarterback, but he got injured. So he would be doing what Sam Darnold does, and then his value would be up. So he could get another job after this year. Yeah. But right now, I think he's relegated to a backup role with either I do agree he would be great with the Dolphins, but I think he wants to go. Dude, Shanahan, he fits Shanahan perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
So he might even go to the 49ers.
Who was the guy who said that the Falcons should trade Kirk Cousins? This guy right here. I said that all year long. They need to trade Kirk Cousins. Michael Penix Jr. is 26. I think he's like 25 or 26 years old. Here's the reason why, guys. Here's the reason why. And I actually heard the story on The Herd. This is the reason why the Falcons drafted Michael Penix. So they flew out to I think Seattle, where Penix was at, and they did the secret workout or whatever. It was raining sideways. It was cold. They said when they got out there, Michael Penix Jr.'s hands are the size of defensive ends. Number one. Number two, yes, they said that his ball cut through that weather like a hot knife through butter. They said he was flicking his wrist and throwing the ball 70 yards. And then another executive said that this guy might have a better arm than even Patrick Mahomes. Michael Penix Jr. can absolutely spin it. I think this was 1,000% the right move. Listen, even if the Falcons told Kirk Cousins they weren't gonna draft the quarterback, well, you know what? That's why they gave him the $90 million guaranteed. They said, okay, we're gonna give you a 36-year-old quarterback off Achilles surgery, $90 million. We're just gonna give it to you, $90 million guaranteed to convince you that we are not going to draft another quarterback. Okay, they drafted a quarterback, so now it's going to cost them $90 million. I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to be I don't think he's going to be mad about that. But I think Michael Penix is absolutely the guy. Not only that, I think he is going to absolutely light it up. I thought this dude was NFL ready before his last season at Washington. And I think at some point, Michael Penix is going to be the best quarterback in that division. And I don't think it'll be particularly close. I watched every one of this dude's games last year in Washington. This dude has a hand cannon, pinpoint accuracy. Dude, easy money sniper. I think this dude is going to absolutely kill it in Atlanta.
I can't disagree with that. And, I'll take a little bit of credit. I also said as soon as Tua went down,
he did. I
said Miami needed to trade for him. I think they should have traded him a minute back. But now, they got to see what they have. And like you said, I think he's going to do quite all right for the next few games. I don't think he'll quite get them there to the playoffs.
No, I think the Bucks are probably going to win that division.
Yeah, but honestly, it'll be good experience for him to start next season. He won't be starting the season off with the preseason jitters or whatever that every other rookie quarterback gets. So.
The Level Up Man says Penix was my favorite quarterback out of that draft class. He has an absolutely limitless ceiling. I agree with that 100%. I think he will prove to be the best quarterback drafted. They got him at number 8, man. And you know what's interesting? Watching the
better than Caleb Williams?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I know Caleb. Yeah. Yes. Listen, resident Caleb Williams fanboy, Miami J. Showing off the chops. Yeah. Speaking of Caleb Williams, man, dude, they need an enema, man. Holy moly, they need an enema, dude. That whole staff is just out of control.
Hey, we called it here on the Chop Block.
You did? We did.
Well,
yeah, I guess we did, but you were the main one. You were like, dude, I don't think this is gonna work. I think it's. And here's the thing: there were rumors coming out of the Caleb Williams camp that he was a little bit apprehensive to go to Chicago. Now we know why, and he squashed it, because he didn't want to be like this quarterback malcontent. And I don't. And here's the thing: I think Caleb Williams could have pulled a John Elway. I think he could have pulled an Eli Manning. I think if he told the Chicago Bears, if you draft me, don't draft me. I do not want to play football. I think the Bears would have traded down. But he said, you know what? Fuck it. It is what it is. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think somehow, for some reason, Caleb Williams was so high regarded as the number 1 pick. He could have done that.
Yeah, he could have. Not now. Though not now.
No, not anymore.
Not worked out. All right, let's go to the NFL playoff picture. So as of right now, let's go to. Oh my God, that was not what I wanted to do. Here we go. Hang on a second. Let's go to the NFC. Let's go to the AFC side. Right now, the Chiefs are the number 1 overall seed, so they would get the bye. The number 2 seed, of course, is the Buffalo Bills. They would play the Broncos at the start if it started today. Incidentally enough, the Chiefs or the Ravens would play the Steelers, and of course, rounded out the Texans and the Chargers. On the other side of the bracket, we've got the Detroit Lions as the number 1 overall seed. We've got the Eagles sitting at 2. We'd have to play the Commanders, the Seahawks, Packers, who happen to actually be playing this week. Oh no, they actually just played. Green Bay just beat Seattle. And then, of course, the Atlanta Falcons would be playing the Minnesota Vikings. For some reason, I thought that the Buccaneers were in the playoffs as of right now, but I guess not. Huh? How about that? Okay. So let me start with Miami J. What is your, as of right now, like if the playoffs started today, what team makes it out of the AFC and why?
So can we zoom back out on the graphic a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Right now, I think obviously the Bills are going to, I think, beat the Broncos.
Yeah, of course.
I think the Bills make it all the way to the AFC Championship game, no problem. I think the one sneaky team here that could get past the Chiefs, and I love the way they're playing, is the Chargers.
Yes.
I really, really like the Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. Having said that, I'm not quite sure the Broncos make it in.
Okay. All right. Jay Blaze.
So at the moment, I think the Texans take a step back with the Tank Dell injury.
Yeah.
I think either the NFC, I think either the Ravens or Steelers take their spot, and I think the Chargers, they're a ground and pound defensive team.
Yes.
I'm trying to think who they match up better with, because I think they match up with the Texans pretty well.
Yeah, they do. I think they match up with Kansas City pretty well because they're in the same division. They know each other. And Justin Herbert is not afraid he's not afraid of Arrowhead.
Yeah, I do like the Chargers. I think the Chargers are the best matchup against the Chiefs.
Mhm.
But dude, I think the Ravens, I think they hopefully they learned their lesson from last year.
Yeah.
And I think everyone wants to see Bills, Chiefs in the semis.
Yeah.
The championship game. But I with the way the Chiefs are playing, like I don't see them going to the NFC Championship game. I think it could be the Chargers and the Bills if I had to make my guess. But dude, it's gonna be tough. I think this could be the most competitive playoff we've seen in a while because dude, there's a lot of teams that could make it there because it's not the best. This is probably the worst the NFL has been in a while.
Yeah, the AFC it's kind of an enigma, right?
Yeah.
I agree with Joel. I don't think the Broncos get in. I don't know who replaces them, but something
Miami.
It's Miami, or here's a story.
Now
there is a path. Listen, now there is a path for the Cincinnati Bengals to get in. They need help.
Yeah.
But if the Cincinnati Bengals get in, if they can get that defense together, they could make a lot of noise. But as of right now, until proven otherwise, Kansas City's coming out of the AFC. What have they been to, like 5 or 6 straight AFC title games? They're going to get that bye week. Mahomes is going to get rested, and Andy Reid off a bye is something like 25-2 or something like that. So whoever they get in the divisional round, that is likely going to be a win, depending upon who they play. So give me the Kansas City Chiefs coming out of the AFC until further notice. Go ahead, Joel.
I'll say this: I'm looking at the teams that are in the hunt right now on my other screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, I think the playoff picture here might be set in the AFC because
so?
Miami's got 2 cold weather games. They're not going to win out.
Yeah. Right.
Indianapolis,
they can't stop anybody.
They can't stop anybody. I don't think they win out. And Cincinnati's 3 games behind Miami and Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
So they need a ton of help.
Yeah.
I think we might be set here. And not to brag, I think I'm going to get famous for being the guy who always brags on the show, but I am the one that called the Broncos being sneakily good this season.
You did?
At the beginning of the year.
You absolutely did.
But I think the playoff picture might be set here.
There it is.
Yeah.
Dude, I've got to figure out how to do that. That would be fucking next level if I could do that shit on a goddamn live stream. Okay, let us move over to what you just did with the thumbs up and all that crazy shit.
Use an iPad camera.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, I think
in my defense, because I don't like using this little gay stuff on the air, but whatever.
There it is.
I'm sure it's exciting to turn it off. I just haven't figured it out.
Oh, that is
I just
awesome.
haven't taken the time to go look for it.
That is totally awesome. All right, let's move over to the NFC, where all of a sudden, and I'm going to tell you what, guys, this is the first time in a while where the 2 prohibitive number 1 overall seeds, at least in the mind of the average to above average fan, is not really set. I remember halfway through the season, we're like, dude, Lions and Chiefs, Super Bowl 59, book it. But dude, the Lions are literally a walking mash unit on the defensive side. They have 18 players on injured reserve, 14 of which are on defense, including, of course, Aiden Hutchinson, who probably would have had 20 sacks this season. Jay Blaze predicted Aiden Hutchinson to be the defensive player of the year. If he had stayed healthy, I think he would have won that.
Yeah.
Now, Miami J, you called the Denver Broncos, but I also called Bo Nix. But I also thought Bo Nix was going to win offensive rookie of the year. And it looks like he could be trending in that direction. Maybe the Eagles give him a little bit of help against Jaden Daniels today. But on the NFC side, we have the Detroit Lions. And oh, by the way, the Minnesota Vikings are 12-2. They've won 9 in a row. They sit in second place. Now, the Lions have not locked up they haven't locked up the 1 seed. They haven't even locked up the division. So that remains to be seen. The Eagles could be the best team in football. Whether they're the best team in football or not remains to be seen, but they are playing the best, clearly the best defense in football. So Miami J, what are your thoughts on the NFC side? And we have to replace the Falcons with the Buccaneers because this graphic was wrong. Let's see. Level Up Man actually confirmed. Level Up Man says that it's the Buccaneers who are atop the AFC South. So let's, in our minds, replace the Falcons with the Buccaneers. How do you see the NFC playing out?
Look, I think the NFC is way far more uncertain than the AFC. Obviously,
Yeah, I'd agree.
There's a lot.
You know, to me, the Lions are still the best team in football this year.
Okay.
And having said that, even though they are, a freaking U.S. Army hospital ward,
and David Montgomery is out until possibly the playoffs. So Knuckles is out. It's going to be all Sonic. So
even that. So, but like you just said, the Vikings could steal that division from them. The Eagles could take the number 1 seed, or the Vikings could be the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
It's that close. And oh, by the way, Green Bay is only a couple games behind. If they went out, they could be the number 1 seed.
They could.
So, this is uncertain as it is. The only team that I think that could maybe sneak in there would be Seattle, but I don't see it. Maybe Atlanta or Arizona if they go on some crazy run in the last 3 weeks of the season. But
that could happen.
Seattle, I think, is the only one that could probably challenge the Commanders. That's about it, or the Bucks.
Okay, Jay Blaze.
No, they're not in the same division.
No, they're the Bucks.
Sorry, not the Bucks, the Rams. They could challenge the Rams.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, they could win the division.
NFC West. Okay, gotcha. Okay, Jay Blaze, how do you see the NFC side of the bracket going?
So the only tough game the Eagles have left is against the Redskins.
Yeah, tomorrow. That's
and I think the Eagles take the number 1 seed by the end.
Okay.
I think the Lions could be the 5th seed because, dude, they're playing the 49ers and the Vikings towards the end. If the Vikings win the last game, because that's going to be dependent on them getting home field.
Yeah.
So they're going to play hard.
Okay.
And I think the Vikings take the division from the Lions because, they lost so many people
the Lions
in that last game.
They're the walking wounded, dude. It's insane.
So so the Falcons would play the Lions and the Vikings would play the Vikings would
okay, I got you.
Yeah, I think the Vikings would play the Redskins?
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they would because they 2 seed. Yeah.
Yeah. So and Seattle is ahead of their division. And the Buccaneers would play the Lions.
Yep.
I think the Buccaneers.
By the way, the Buccaneers they were the one team that beat Detroit this year.
Yeah, and
that was their one loss.
And the Lions lost their best cornerback. And Baker, he's
failing.
I almost think the Buccaneers upset the Lions. Week 1 if it week 1 of the playoffs. Because they have so many goddamn injuries, and I hate to say it, but I think the Buccaneers upset them. If it stays like this, the Packers I think are better than the Seahawks. I just think they are.
Yeah, they are, and they just beat the Seahawks. So yeah.
And we just said the Eagles would the Vikings would play the Redskins. I think the Vikings are better. I think the Redskins are a year or two away,
Okay.
and
Yeah, they're ahead.
so I think the Eagles make it to the Super Bowl. I think they're just better than. Yeah, I think the Eagles
Look,
win and get to the Super Bowl.
Go ahead, Joel.
I'll say this. I think the Lions obviously have been making noise all year. The Eagles with this winning streak have been making a lot of noise. I think normally when you have evened out teams, the team that's making the least noise usually goes in there more humbly and wins.
Absolutely. That makes
With
sense.
that, I can see Minnesota being the Super Bowl team out of the NFC.
No, yeah, they absolutely could be. I'm gonna. Do you guys remember what my crazy prediction was for the Eagles record at the beginning of the year? I said the Eagles are going to go 15-2. Well, guess what, boys? The Eagles are 12-2. We got the Redskins, we got the Cowboys, and we got the Giants, and we get the Cowboys and Giants at home. The Eagles don't. We don't have to get on a plane for the rest of the season, and we might not have to get on a plane for the rest of the postseason. I think the Eagles dump truck the Commanders. I think we absolutely boat race the Cowboys, and I think we put the pedal to the metal against the Giants. I think we get the number 1 overall seed, and we not necessarily steamroll our way into the Super Bowl, but because of the way they're playing right now, no team in football is playing better on both sides of the football collectively as the Eagles. I think offensively, the Bills and the Lions are probably playing a little bit better than the Eagles. Defensively, nobody's playing better. I honestly, and here's another very important factor. The Eagles are healthy. Knock on wood. Now we had AJ Brown, Lane Johnson. We had a couple of guys miss a few games here and there. But dude, all of the Eagles star players are all healthy. Not only that, every week the media pick. So this week, the reason why the Eagles can't and won't ever make the Super Bowl is because Nick Sirianni was seen on the sidelines jawing at Clint Hurt, the defensive line coach, because Nick Sirianni was trying to, go over and talk to Jalen Carter, right? Every time they talk about, well, Nick Sirianni did this, and all they do is go out and get another win. And I think what's going on in that locker room and in that building, I think they're saying, hey, man, like they keep talking shit about our coach, and all we do is keep winning games, and they just keep coming up with reasons why we can't do it. And the reason why is because we got these motherfuckers watching the sidelines. They're more interested in what's happening on the sidelines than what's happening on the field. Okay, the sidelines might be a little bit chaotic for people's tastes, but guess what? We beat the Ravens. We've beaten all of the best teams in the AFC. We beat the Ravens, beat the Steelers. We beat them all. I think we're playing the best right now. I think we get the number 1 overall seed. I think the Lions are a walking mash unit. I think at some point those injuries are going to overcome them. The Vikings could make a push to be the number 1 overall seed, but they still gotta beat the Lions. They got to beat the Lions if they want to have a chance.
Yeah,
I think all the other guys are playing for second place in the NFC. So it's either going to be the Vikings, the Eagles, or the Lions. And if you had to pick one of those, I'm going with the Eagles.
I will say, if the Eagles actually end up 15-2, Blaze, let's get ready because we're not going to hear the end of it till the end of
Exactly.
till the start of next season. We're not going to hear the end of it.
Look, man, I don't like when I made that. You guys remember when I made that prediction? I said, okay, they're probably not going to go 15-2. But I mean, the roster, like the Eagles are the only team in football who don't have a weakness. Great defense, great offense. Dude, we have one of the best kickers in the league. Let's talk about something else, guys, here before we wrap this up. This has not been a good year for kickers, man. We got Greg Zuerlein, Justin Tucker, hell, even Jake Elliott for the Eagles. We got kickers missing field goals and extra points. Why do you guys think kickers have struggled so much this year?
That's a great question. I have no idea.
It's been crazy, man.
The easy answer would be to say that the new kickoff rules have played some kind of voodoo on their heads, but that's a stupid thing to say. No, I mean, come on,
man.
All they're doing is kicking. I don't think that's actually the case. Honestly, I don't know.
But no, you know what? I think you might be onto something, man. I think maybe the new kickoff rule does have something to do with it.
I mean, that's the only thing that's really changed for them in the last the last couple of years. Right. So.
I don't know. Against the Eagles, I could not believe it when I watched Justin Tucker miss 2 field goals and an extra point. I was like, holy fucking shit, this dude has the yips. But I don't know, man. He's still, listen, even though Justin Tucker's not having a great season, one kick for my life, I'm picking Justin Tucker. No, the Chiefs aren't playing the best. They're not playing the best football. But guess what? If there was one team I would want to play and bet my life, it's the Kansas City Chiefs, man. Like that's all there is to it. So it's these until further notice. Go ahead, Blaze.
So when have we ever seen with the Vikings a quarterback that is on a 1-year prove-it deal?
Yeah,
in Sam Darnold that could be in the NFC Championship game. And could you imagine the market he's going to have? Dude, it's going to be wild.
If I'm the Vikings, here's what I do. Dude, I'd give Sam Darnold the Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins deal, 3 years, $100 million. I would trade JJ McCarthy for draft capital. That's what I would do. I would trade JJ McCarthy because here's the thing. Yeah, you drafted McCarthy number 9 overall, but you don't know what you have in him yet. You know what you have with Sam Darnold. You like a bird in a hand is worth more than 2 in the bush. Okay, so Sam is going to cost you a lot more than JJ McCarthy, but at least you know what you have. You got the run, you've got the running back, you've got the O-line, you've got the wide receivers. I think the Vikings should re-sign Sam Darnold. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and they should do it before the playoffs start.
Yes. Oh my God, yes, definitely.
Well,
is there something brewing up there? What's going on?
I don't know. If you're the Vikings, do you want him going into the playoffs with that doubt that he's had the entire year and that fire in his belly to prove himself, or do you want him to go into with the job security?
You know what? Honestly, I don't think Sam Darnold will ever take anything for granted again, whether he gets a
fair enough.
Not. He was the number 1 overall pick. He got the money and he lost that. So there is nothing in his psyche that says, okay, I got $100 million in the bank. Now I can relax. No, nuh-uh. What he has been through has prepared him for this very moment. And dude, what a comeback story that would be if he were to get $100 million contract after literally being cast aside by the New York Jets. That would be insane, man. That would
absolutely. Then going back to my comment, I sign him now.
Yeah. Yes. Sign him now. Yeah. Sign him for 33 rather than 43. If you know.
Yeah. What I mean. Don't let this thing get even to 1 day of free agency because somebody's going to snatch him up.
He will definitely have a market for sure. Yeah, I'd sign him right now. What you got, Blaze?
We don't know what the Vikings saw in JJ McCarthy before he went down, and we know Kirk Cousins did not leave. Like he left in good terms. What if they say, "Hey, let's run it," and they still keep JJ McCarthy, and they just say, "Let's bring in Kirk Cousins back," and Sam walks. Like it depends on if they can get a deal done with Sam Darnold because will Sam want top money if he's going to be in the?
That's a very good point.
That's the thing. That's the thing that can stop Sam Darnold from greatness is if he gets in his own way and demands too much money.
There you go. No, I totally agree. Last topic here. What do you think the Steelers should do with Russell Wilson? Because he was on a 1-year deal. The Denver Broncos the Denver Broncos are paying Russell Wilson $38 million not to play for them. It's clear now they're on a bit of a skid because they're going through a little bit of a tough stretch, right? They just got beat by the Eagles. They just lost to the Ravens. But clearly, I think we can all agree Mike Tomlin made the right call to start Russell Wilson. Do we give Russell Wilson the Kirk Cousins Baker Mayfield deal and keep Justin Fields, or do we put him on another 1-year prove it deal? What do you guys think?
You know what? I put him on another one-year prove it deal and wait out till the 2025 draft.
Okay.
Sorry, the 2026 draft.
Yeah, 26. Yep.
And I looked for my quarterback in that draft.
Okay. All right. That's actually a good idea.
I think you give him the Kirk Cousins deal, so you have him 3 years, and then you can draft a quarterback next year and have Russ there to mentor him.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's what you do.
Not only that, the Steelers have a lot of key players in their prime. You've got TJ Watt, Najee Harris, George Pickens. Like, dude, the Steelers, they're on a little bit of a slide because they've been going through a bit of a tough stretch. But they have players in their primes. Dude, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Patrick Queen just came over from Baltimore. So they've got the squad, man. And Russell Wilson, like Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson could really set himself up for success and maybe re-enter that conversation of first ballot Hall of Famer. Hey man, he's made $300 million in his NFL, or I'm sorry, 200 and what was it? No, he's made $300 million in his NFL career. He doesn't really need any more money. He should go to he should go to Mike Tomlin and be like, hey, look, man, let's try and win a Super Bowl. Sign me 3 years, $30 million or something like that, and let's go win this thing. I don't think that's what he'll do, but if he does, I think that could really set him up for the future.
You know what? Just a little footnote to illustrate how important a good GM is, aka Howie Rosen. The Miami Dolphins traded Minka Fitzpatrick for a 4th-round draft.
Oh my God!
Tell me in what world that makes sense.
Oh my God! Not in this world. Not in
exactly.
This world. Nope. I don't know. Like the Cowboys and the Cowboys recently just came out. I think Stephen Jones recently came out and said, "Hey, listen, man, next year is going to be the same. We're out of money." I don't know what's going on in Dallas, but maybe it's I don't know what's happening in Philly. I have no idea. We have 3 of the top 8 highest paid offensive linemen in the game. We've got Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, two of the top paid receivers. Devontae makes $25 a year, AJ makes $32 a year. That's top of the market. Jalen Hurts is making $50.5 million. Then we just signed Saquon to the mega. I don't know how I have no idea how this dude does it. But hey, I'm glad he's our GM. Ken Rose with the $2 super chat. Appreciate that very much.
Yeah, dude. The Cowboys, dude. Jerry needs a buffer. He needs a buffer from the players. Like he runs his organization like a family business.
Yeah.
And dude, he's out of touch with how the NFL runs today. You need to pay these players early because it keeps going up and up.
Yep.
And he doesn't understand this. He's playing it like it's the 90s, and it's not anymore.
It ain't the 90s, man. Dude.
Yeah.
Look, Jerry Jones has this delusion that he thinks everybody sees the Cowboys the way he sees the Cowboys. He thinks people want to be there just because of the honor of being a Dallas Cowboys.
The star of the
I'm
helmet.
sorry, this isn't the late 90s anymore.
No. The only way the Cowboys get out from under this mess is you got to trade Micah. You've got to trade him. But we know they're not going to do that. We know they're not going to do that because Jerry Jones is stubborn, man. And
I don't think they have to. I think they can trade CeeDee Lamb and probably get just as much.
They probably, dude, honestly, they should probably trade them both, dude. I mean, I don't know how. I honestly don't know how you get out from under this in Dallas. I really don't.
They should not have signed Dak Prescott.
Yep, there it is. Yep, they should have signed Dak. Yep, they should have signed Dak.
Now that they have, they probably need to cut Prescott and trade the other two.
Yeah.
Micah and CeeDee Lamb and start from scratch.
Start all over again. Yeah, that's the only dude. That is the only way. And listen,
you're not getting out from under that contract. I don't care how much the salary cap goes up.
No, I agree. And listen, I mean, I guess on the bright side, the Cowboys, look, they got 3 consecutive 12-win seasons and a playoff win, you know?
Sure.
It was against, 74-year-old Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, but hey, I mean, I guess that counts for something.
Yeah. You know what? That's more than Miami's gotten. We haven't won a playoff game in like 20 years.
Wow. When's the last time Damn, I can't remember the last time.
I don't remember.
Damn.
Right now, the Cowboys, they don't have a coach with an identity because dude, Dan Campbell is not good at situation football, but dude, his team has an identity.
He's a walk-around.
McCarthy has no identity. He's behind on the times.
Yeah.
And dude, I thought for sure the Cowboys were not making moves to cut Dak. I really thought they were going to just say, "Hey, see you later, Dak," after this year. But for some reason, they signed with that contract, so now they're trapped. They're screwed. And you could have got either Sam Darnold or Kirk Cousins after this year for a bargain, probably.
Not only that, Derrick Henry works out and lives in their backyard and said he wanted to be a Cowboy. Never picked up the phone. That to me, that's an organizational failure.
Here's your stat for the day. The Miami Dolphins, the only team ever to go undefeated. The only team ever, well, not the only team ever, but the only team that hasn't had a first-round pick or a number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Like pretty much ever. the team that's always in the playoff bubble hasn't won a playoff game in 24 years since
Wow.
2000 when they beat the Colts 23-17.
Holy, who's the quarterback? Dan Marino?
It was Dan Marino.
Holy fucking shit. Jared Atkinson says what we've been saying on this show for the last year. Jerry has to die for this to turn around. Honestly, it might have to be Jerry and Steven because I just don't.
Yeah, Steven.
I don't know. It's about to be a nuclear winter in Dallas. Gentlemen, I know it is midnight out there on the East Coast. Thank you guys very, very much for joining me. Let's go around with our final thoughts. Miami J, fire.
Do we want to make our picks really, really quickly?
Oh, shit. I completely
for tomorrow?
forgot about this. Yes, hold on 1 second. My bad. Dude, I totally forgot about the damn picks. All right, let's see here. Let me jump in here and NFL schedule. All right, there we go. There it is. The NFL schedule, week 18. Well, no, that's week 18. We don't need to go to week 18 because it's not.
No, we're in week 16, right?
No, week 16. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
NFL season, December. The fuck? Oh, this is it. Oh, yeah, this is it. All right, hang on. Let me bring this up here. There we go. All right. All right, let's see. Oh, come on now. All right, so the first matchup, and we won't pick against the spread. We'll just pick.
Yeah, let's just pick the winner.
Yeah, we'll try to get through this as quickly as possible. Okay,
just give me time to write it down. Though.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, we got you. Okay, so the Atlanta Falcons are hosting the New York Giants. Jay Blaze, who you got?
Atlanta.
Okay, I've also got Atlanta. Who you got?
Same.
Atlanta. Okay, very good. Detroit at Chicago. I'm going to take the Bears in this one. I have a sneaking suspicion the Bears are going to upset the Lions here.
I'll take Detroit. I don't like. I don't trust Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't picked them once all year, and they pretty much
it hasn't burned you. Okay. The Cleveland Browns going into Cincinnati. I'm going to take the Bengals because it's must win. They got to run the table and get healthy.
Cincy.
Yeah, I got Cincy as well.
Okay, very good. Tennessee. Oh my God, Tennessee at Indianapolis. I'm going to take Indianapolis.
Indy.
They're the better team. Dude, the Mike McDonald has benched Will Levis. It's over in Tennessee, so I'm taking Indy.
Hang on, sorry guys, give me a second. Okay. By the way, who was the Thursday night game?
The Thursday night game was the Broncos and the Chargers, and the Chargers won. That was actually a really good game.
Yeah, I can't believe the Chargers came back.
Yeah, dude. I thought the Broncos had it, dude, because they were getting ready to run them out of the building.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, move on. I got the Colts as well, by the way.
Okay, very good. The LA Chargers going to New York against the red hot Aaron Rodgers, who have won one in a row. Who you got, Blaze?
Take the Rams.
Okay, I'm taking them too.
Yep, same.
All right, very good. Next game is the Eagles on the road against the Washington Commanders. I'm going to take the Eagles.
Eagles.
Blaze? Eagles. I'm going to...
Uh-oh.
No, I'll take the Eagles.
No, I thought he was going to do it. I thought he was going to do it.
I wanted to, but I can't pick against my parlay because then I'm
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to bet on this game, you take the Eagles.
Of course.
The Arizona Cardinals on the road against Carolina. I think the Panthers are going to pull the upset. I think they're going to win this game.
I had the Panthers as well.
How about that? How about you, Blaze?
Take Arizona.
All right. Okay, he's going to be he's stepping out there and taking the Cardinals. All right.
Yeah.
The Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be an interesting game because it's in Seattle. Vikings have to fly cross country. I think I'm going to take the Vikings because now they have a realistic chance of winning the division and maybe even getting the number 1 overall seed. Who you got, Blaze?
I'll take Minnesota. I think they need this game to get the division.
Yep. And Miami.
Yeah, I will too. I like teams going from the eastern side of the U.S. to the West Coast.
Yes.
I think they play fresh. I like that.
Okay, very good. That's a very good point. In the late window, we've got the New England Patriots going into Buffalo. I think it's safe to say we are all taking the Bills.
Taking Buffalo.
Yeah, that's going to be obvious. This is an interesting game. Jacksonville at Las Vegas. I mean, can we pick neither team? Like, I don't know.
I'm leaning towards Jacksonville because I've heard rumors of Antonio Pierce losing it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He was caught gambling. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is they're really bad. I'm gonna take Vegas,
Yeah.
even though Antonio Pierce was at the craps table. What about you?
I got Vegas too. In a game like this, you just kind of go with the home team. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. The San Francisco 49ers on the road at Miami. I'm going to take the Dolphins. They're not out of the playoffs yet, but they absolutely need this game to get in.
Take
I
Miami.
agree. I agree too. I think this is Miami's last win of the season because they're not going to win up in New York or Cleveland.
Oh, boy. All right. Very good. The 8 o'clock game are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker and the Bucks going into Dallas. I'm going to take the Buccaneers here, but I'm not confident. For some reason, I think the Cowboys might make this game a lot closer than we might realize. But I think in the end, I think Tampa's just the better team.
I'll take Tampa.
Okay, and Miami.
You know what? I don't think Blaze has picked the Cowboys once this season.
No, I don't think he has either.
I'll go back and look.
Actually, he took them last week against the Panthers.
And then,
Yeah.
Did they win?
Wait, no, he took the Panthers. No, he hasn't picked the Cowboys. Yeah, you're right. He picked the Panthers.
No, he picked the Cowboys.
The Cowboys beat him. No, he hasn't picked the Cowboys all year long.
No, he picked the Cowboys 2 weeks ago against the Panthers. You're right about that. Or last week against the Panthers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and to round it out, the Monday night game are the New Orleans Saints at the Green Bay Packers. I'm taking the Packers. They're just the better team.
Yeah,
Pack.
same.
All right, guys.
All right.
That is going
just to recap. Sorry, Don. Just to recap real quick.
Yep.
We're going into the last 3 weeks of the season.
Okay.
All right. This doesn't factor in the results from last week, which I haven't added up.
Okay.
But right now, Donovan, you're in last place with 51 correct picks.
Oh.
Blaze is in second with 55. I'm winning with 60.
Oh, wow. So I'm going to have to start taking some chances.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We need to spice this thing up. We need to spice this thing up.
We can make up ground. Listen, with as many games as we pick, we can make up ground pretty quickly.
Yeah, Blaze, you just need to stop copying me, and you'll have a shot.
Yeah, I took Arizona.
Oh yeah. He did. He went against he went out on the limb and took the Arizona Cardinals. He wasn't dumb enough not to take them, so he was.
I have Jacksonville and Arizona. That's my difference.
There you go.
Yeah. That should be fun, though. It should be a cool end of the season.
It should be.
We finally
managed to keep track of our picks.
It's
very close. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Chop Block, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out.
Later.